Gielinor, the magical world of RuneScape. It's divided into chunks for easy use. Welcome to Chunkman Dead Die Kill, the series where I conquer the landmass of Gielinor by doing tasks and unlocking chunks. Last episode we completed another 3 tasks, with achieving 25 more total levels, reaching 1300. We also completed 2 clue tasks, one being 25 beginner clues for a total of 450 caskets opened, and the other one being the first 25 easy clues. Our map expanded with the chunk north of the Slayer Tower in Mauritania, the chunk below Barrows, and the Taverley chunk. With unlocking the Taverley chunk, we can finally do the Druidic Ritual quest, so that will be our starting point today. First of all, let's unlock our new chunk. And then if you look over here, this is Edgar's Ruse, for which I think we need the Troll Stronghold. And the other quest is Grim Tales, which we can actually do after completing Druidic Ritual because we need Herblore levels. But for now, we collected all the meat we needed. Let's go and talk to Cake Mix at the Druid Circle here in Taverley. Cake Mix is asking us to purify the stone circle just under the city of Varrock, so over here where we fought the demon. So this circle used to be one of the good circles, but it was corrupted by some dark mages, and now Cake Mix wants us to purify it. Let's talk to his assistant, Sanfew, for the steps we need to take. Sanfew mentions he needs 4 pieces of meat from different animals, and then they need to be put into the Cauldron of Thunder. So we already got the meat, so let's go into the Taverley dungeon and prepare the meat. Let's try to get in these doors. These suits of armor come alive, but we can just get in. So let's dip the meat into the cauldron one by one. There we go, that was pretty fast. And now to go back to Sanfew. We gave Sanfew the meat he needed, he was very grateful, and now we can go and get our quest reward from Cake Mix. Cake Mix has shown us how to make an attack potion and how potions work in general, which gives us the end of the quest, which gives us 4 quest points, the access to the Herblore skill of course, and 250 Herblore experience, getting us up to 3 Herblore, which is the necessary level to make attack potions. But more importantly, that's the quest completed, and our last skill, that was level 1, is now finally unlocked. The Druidic Ritual was our 36th quest, which gives us 122 chunks now. Unlocking the Taverley chunk was probably one of the biggest unlocks of the account. This is going to help us a lot in the future with all the potions, all the levels we can get from making the potions. We can have access now to prayer potion making, which will help us a lot in a lot of the things we are going to do, definitely all the bossing. But let's see which chunk we are getting next. Pick a chunk. And we get another part of the wilderness. We pretty much have, yes, we have all the lower level wilderness chunks unlocked now. So we're steadily going up the wilderness, not that really that great of a deal, but we're still 2 chunks off the crazy archaeologist, which would be pretty nice to get. But for now, I'm pretty sure we can do a lot of things because we just unlocked Herblore, so let's go and do that. The next quest I'd like to do is the dig site, but we need 10 Herblore, so let's go to the bank, clean a lot of herbs, maybe stock up on some Eye of Newts and make some attack potions. From all of the things we've killed and from all the farming that has been done, we're up to a nice amount of herbs. So let's first of all make sure that they are all cleaned. I think this should not take long before we get another level. There we go, that's already 4. So I don't imagine we are going to have any issues getting to level 10. And with this one we are 10 Herblore. We only got up to the Marintils, so we still have a lot left to do. But for now, let's start with the dig site quest. This should be about what we need for the quest. I'm going to use some of the dig site teleports I've gotten from the easy glues, which is going to be very useful for this quest. Let's talk to one of the examiners and see what we can do here. One of the examiners here mentions that we can take some exams in the exam center to be able to help them with the dig north of here. Before we can take the exam, we have to go to the Varrock Museum because they are responsible and funding the dig, so we need to get approval. Let's talk to the curator, and because we've helped him with the Shield of Rav quest, he doesn't see any problem with helping us get the exam. Let's start with the exam. We start with the Earth Sciences level 1 on the beginner level. We don't know anything about the Earth Sciences, so maybe let's see if some of the students here can help us with that. We're going to have to do some panning later on in the quest, so let's first of all ask this guy how and if we can start panning there. And he asks for a cup of tea and we delivered and he was happy, so let's start panning. And there we go, we find a special cup in here which is going to be necessary for one of the students, but we also need an opal, so let's continue. And now they're laughing at me. That's a 4 jade. And there's the opal. Okay. We steal an animal skull from this dig site workman, and apparently we also need a specimen brush. And there we go, that's the specimen brush. And that's pretty much all of the things we need for the students to help us with the exam. The first student here wants to help us if we find her teddy bear. We found it in a bush, so let's give it back. She gives us some helpful advice on what the earth science studies are. Next up, he needs the special cup, and that's the second student down. On to the third, and he lost his good find, and that's why we've got the animal skull. Now that all the students have given us their information on how to pass the exam, let's go back to the examiner and see if we can pass our beginner test. And there we go, that was pretty easy, but we are now level 1 in Earth Sciences. We get a certificate that we completed it. On to the next course. And there we go, that's the second level certificate, and that just leaves the last exam. For that, let's go back to the students and see if they will help us with the last few questions. Let's talk to the female student first. She notices that she can get some more out of us, so she wants an opal this time before helping us. Now for the next student, he's very cooperative and just tells us what we want to know. A very nice guy. And now for the last guy. Oh, and he immediately helps us as well. So we only had to give the female student an opal. Let's go and finish the third exam. And that's our last exam done. We are now a certified digger. Time for us to show what we have learned, so let's try and dig here and see if we can find anything. Oh, and after a while of digging we find an ancient talisman. Let's go back to the exam center and show them what we found. The expert thinks it's a talisman of Zaros, and because we have found it we can now dig in a private part of the dig site. Time to use one of our ropes to get down. Let's collect some roots. There's a room behind these rocks over here and we see the symbol of Zaros. So we just need to clear these rocks. Let's use one of the ropes on the other winch here. Let's see what's down here. And there's a guy here. Okay, let's talk to him. He tells us there's a guy that knew how to make some explosives, but the guy ran away really fast after discovering something, but he left all his things, so let's find his diary with this key here to open his chest. We find some powder inside the chest, and now we can use our vial, and now we have an unidentified liquid. The expert mentions this is nitroglycerin, and now for the chemical powder, it's ammonium nitrate. And if we combine these two, we get a mixed potion, and now we only need to add charcoal. But for that, as it mentions here, we need to use the trays again to find one. And there we go, that was pretty fast. Let's use it, the pestle and mortar, and then let's combine everything, add the root we picked up a bit ago, and there we go, we have a chemical compound that should blast all the rubble away. Let's just use it on the rocks here, ignite it, and run away very fast. Now let's see what we have found. Let's take the stone tablet. Let's give the stone tablet to the expert here. And that finishes the quest. They were very happy with what we found. And we get 2 quest points, 15,300 mining experience, 2,000 Herblore experience, and 2 more gold bars, getting us up to 69 quest points. Nice. And we also go from level 10 Herblore to 17. Pretty decent. Already at 1316 total level. But that was the quest done, which means we have another task done and another chunk to unlock. And back to our spreadsheet. The 37th quest, the dig site, has been completed, which gives us a total of 123 chunks now. And then back to the map. The last chunk we got was just north of the Goblin Village, so another part of the wilderness, so nothing really changes. So let's see which chunk is going to be next. Pick a chunk. And we get the left side of Entrana. There's a quest here. I think it's the Enlightened Journey. I'm actually not sure if we can do that. Let's have to check. So if we check the map, this is indeed the Enlightened Journey quest. Let's unlock the chunk while we're at it. And if I look onto the wiki, we should be able to get all of the things. There's a lot of items we need for this. But first of all, with the certificates we've gotten, let's go and turn them in here at the museum. And so he takes the first reward, the second certificate as well, and then for the third, proving that we are certified, he wants to reward us with something to eat or something to drink. And this is important because we are going to choose something to drink, and this is a fruit blast. I gotta be careful not to drink it, but a fruit blast is something you can only get from the gnome stronghold. That's over here, so that's pretty far away from where we are now. And this is one of the items that is necessary for a quest, and that is a very important one, which is a recipe for disaster. So we don't need a lot, but that is one of the main things why this quest was so important. The dig site quest is to get this reward. So pretty much we're going to do that first. Scratch that plan. I thought I would have everything, but apparently the Greenman's Ale is something we still need, and it's fairly close actually. If we go over here in Yanil, we need to unlock this pub, so that's 3 chunks away. Or we need to get to the Baxterian Falls, but yeah, that's way too far. Or if, for example, we unlock here the brewery, that's 2 squares away, we can make it ourselves. So for now, we're going to put that in our bank. So we're not able to do the start of recipe for disaster, which is a bit of a shame because that would have unlocked a lot of nice things. But the next part, because we finished up the druidic ritual, we are now ready to do the recruitment drive. First of all, let's teleport to Falador and go to the makeover mage, because we need to be female for the quest. Let's say goodbye to our nice face for the moment, and let's talk to the makeover mage to make over ourselves. We want to be a female. The hair stays the same, I see, so we're still looking quite nice. Let's talk to Ceramic Vase to start the recruitment drive quest. He says we are now able to join a secret society, so we need to talk to certification in the Falador Park. Let's talk to him and let's start. First up, we need to open this door. If we talk to Serenitude, if we can have a clue for the door, so we need a 4-letter word, and that is time. And that's the first trial completed. On to the next. And we need to defeat Serley. So he's only level 20, so this shouldn't take that long, even with just our fists. That's the second test completed. And this is a classic puzzle. We have a fox, a bag of grain, and a chicken. You can only carry one over the bridge, but if you leave the grain with the chicken, then the chicken will eat it. If you leave the fox together with the chicken, then the fox will eat the chicken. So we need to make sure that everyone gets across without them eating each other. So this is fairly easy with the quest helper, but this is also a very well-known puzzle. Basically, all the time you pick up the chicken and move it around, and you take up the other thing that's in the room until it's all on the other side. And there we go. And that's the puzzle completed. On to the next test. And this next room is a puzzle room. let's just use the magic of the quest helper to get us through. I think from all of these tests, this is probably the most difficult one, because you need to do quite a lot of things to get through the door. Okay, that's the first door open with just the spade and some of the liquids here. And now for the second door, we are going to make a mold of this key here and then make a bronze key from that. There we go, that's a bronze key, and that's the test completed. Next up is an observation test. So there's a gold statue missing over here, and it's the golden halberd statue, and that's the one we are going to have to find. And there we go, easy enough. And that was the last test, and that's the end of the quest. We get 1,000 prayer experience, 1,000 herblore experience, 1,000 agility experience, and we also respawn now in the Falador square instead of in the Lumbridge square. And we also get a initiate's salad, which is a pretty good item because we have a +3 prayer on that item. We get another 2 herblore levels, which is pretty nice as well. And more importantly, that's of course another quest down, which means another chunk to pick. And that's another quest down. The recruitment drive is our 38th quest, which means we are now 1/4 of the way for quests. Pretty nice to see there's finally something that's not orange, and we got 124 chunks in total as well. We unlocked the Western Entrana Square last time, which unlocked the Enlightened Journey quest, so that's probably going to be one of the next things we'll be doing. That also gives us a very interesting chunk above it. So Keep Le Fay isn't really that necessary just now, but over here in Caterby, the part of Caterby would be unlocking, or could unlock, there is a charter ship. So that would mean that we could get access to Caterby, and maybe that would be next to Witch Haven, one of the first entries into the Kandran region. But either way, let's see which chunk we will actually be getting. Pick a chunk. And we get the middle of the Karamja Island. The nature altar is here somewhere. I'm not sure if this unlocks anything for one of the quests here. I know for the Taibo One-Eye Trio quest we also need this chunk and the village itself. I think for Jungle Potion we also need the chunk with the village itself, because we need to pick up something below here. So I think for now this will not be useful yet, but if you look at it, we only have like 4 more squares to go to unlock the full Karamjan Island, which is pretty nice. That's going to be all for this episode. Unlocking Herblore is probably one of the biggest unlocks for the account, as all the potions will be useful in a lot of activities around the game. We still have a couple of quests left we can do, so we will start with that next week. I hope to see you all there.